Put together by Thenx Ladies, the Triple M Mammmas is a sketch show. Now, in this production, the Mammmas are the founders of a local stokvel that caters at Mekete, Manyalo le Mafu, and most certainly will give you a taste of their world-acclaimed dish, Nnete. Performed by Kitty Moepang, Tumy Motsoatsoe, MoMo Matsunyane, and Zethu Dlomo. The ladies join us this morning to share more on the production. Ladies, a very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Good to have you. God, I love this energy. I think we needed it so early in the morning. I mean, having woken up at 4 a.m., my energy levels have dipped. But you just brought the fire in studio. You are within. Eh? So who are the Triple M Mammmas?
The Triple M Mammmas are three awesome women, Iris, Gloria, and Maggie. And what they're very infamous for is telling the truth. Even if it makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, you most certainly will laugh and cry.
The truth is uncomfortable, by the way.
Yes. But all they really want to do is just to entertain you and treat you well. You know, things we celebrate, Manyalo, Mekete, and things we cry over, Mafu and loss. So that internally just kind of explains what the comedy is like in the sketches.
Yeah. And you know, I can just tell that so many ladies can actually relate to this story.
Yes.
So how does the play portray the ladies?
Oh my goodness, I think initially the show or the sketch comedy group Thenx started because of the challenges we were experiencing in the creative industry. So allocation of roles, you know, who gets to be visible, who gets to be seen, who gets to get cast. And then eventually we realized that this platform can actually serve the entire society. So yes, we have these mamas who are the anchors of the show, but we play multiple characters. So whether you're a 16-year-old, an old mama, a young man, you know, a teenager, you can actually enjoy the show because our intention is really to hold up a critical mirror to society. So all citizens of South Africa watch the show and can go, I know that mama, but also that looks like me and my friend, you know. So we went from mamas to like zonke bonke as a nation.
One thing I love about South Africans is that you know, they can use humor under whatever circumstances. Be it the bad times, be it good times, humor is always there. And I suppose this play reflects just that. I mean, using humor to tell South African stories, especially faced by our ladies on a daily basis. Was that intentional?
Absolutely. So we use satirical sketch comedy. And the great thing about satire is that you have the ability to address very serious issues, but through humor. But also we encourage critical thought and reflection onto our audiences so that they're not just enjoying this lovely show, but they're very active, right? So we don't want passive audiences. We include them in the show as well. We fetch unsuspecting audience members and we bring them onto stage and they also end up performing.
Really?
Because we don't want to...
He's already scared.
Don't be too scared. But it's because we want
I want to do
this.
Please come.
Please come. It's a communal space and we want to all really be active in dealing with the issues that are facing us as a society, and not just the mamas, but young men, women, you know, across racial lines as well, you know, because we also play Afrikaners and white oaks, and it's a whole plethora of characters.
So who is supposed to, who is the show aimed at? Which character or which member of the audience will particularly relate to this and find enjoyment in?
I think, like I mentioned earlier, and what's beautiful is that we've had multiple iterations of this particular show. But with every show that we do, we try and make sure that we reflect, as Momo mentioned, a plethora, like a nuanced approach, not just, you know, women and sticking to our personal issues. We really try to take the personal into the public. So, like I mentioned, Mama who comes and watches the show, whether you're from the church, whether you come from a privileged background, you know, Cape Town, Orange Farm, you will see someone that you know. And also, besides just the characters, the way that we package the content, we try to be as relevant as possible. So whether you're on social media, on radio, on TV, something that you've heard about that day, a trending topic, something that has been irking you, something that keeps you up at night, you will see it on stage. So we go from the Putin drama to Brixie, to poverty, to the education system.
To the beggars on the street.
So we try to package it so that South Africans can actually come and enjoy the show. And even if you don't understand one language or know that one particular particular character, there's something you will take. There's this kaftin that you will take from our
Definitely.
And speaking of skaftin, talk to us about Nnete, that the ladies dish out.
Yeah. You know what? I think the mamas and your role in your profession are exactly the same. And it's quite interesting that this year at the Cannes Lions Festival, a Japanese newspaper won for turning news into music. And if you come to our show, you'll see we use a lot of pastiche, satire, and we play within the classical music songs that we know as South Africans. And we use those to tell the current stories. So that skaftin that you're taking is definitely going to be so quintessentially South African that you'll have to pinch yourself to say, am I in a show or was this real life? You know?
And what I quite love about, you know, the whole situation is that you guys have got amazing synergy, you've got amazing chemistry, and it'll make telling the story much more simpler.
I mean, we met at university. We all studied drama at Wits, and so we've known each other since 2007. And when we started working on this, I think it was 2013, and that's when we officially decided we were like, no man, we're not getting work in the industry. Who came
with this idea though, and what was the thought process?
Well, we were tasked with producing a piece of homework for our third year comedy course.
So you guys are basically doing homework now.
Basically. That homework is continuing. And we didn't have anything to produce, and we were like, guys, what are we going to do? And so we decided to get together and create this satirical, ridiculously hilarious sketch comedy. But after that, we were like, because of the synergy, because of our different backgrounds and where we've got so much in common, we decided to just fly with this and start telling stories that not only are about us, but really reflecting on the socio-political and economic issues of our country.
And what are some of the favorite sayings that you guys pronounce differently?
The first one is thank you, which is Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, hence the title of the show.
Well, the title of the show is Mekete, Manyalo le Mafu.
I know, I FOMO already. Yes. What times, Veda? Yeah, just share the show times.
Okay, so we've got 2 more shows left. Tonight at 7 p.m. and tomorrow at 3 p.m. So people better come through because tickets, especially for tomorrow, will be sold out if people don't book in advance.
Why is it worth watching? Okay, apart from having fun and laughing, but why is it worth watching though?
I think for us, the main reason why we feel the show is so important for us to watch is that it's so uncomfortable to always see like the bad side of our country, right? But it is important to know what's happening. So it's almost like if you want to be clued up and be entertained, purely entertained, that is the reason you should come to the show. And one thing also is that what we did by starting Thenx was us trying to grow our own entertainment industry. And if you're saying, you know what, I really want to be a part of something special, come to the theater, watch a theater piece. It's 150 Rand, it's at 7 p.m. You can do something afterwards at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So it is really entertainment, but that's going to really make you start serious conversations.
And I think we try to make sure that it's accessible to a wide range of audiences. So there are young kids who are grappling, you know, with drug abuse, mental health, and don't necessarily have the language. And I think our show intentionally does that. We're trying to grow the body of knowledge. Back in the days, we had to learn Shakespeare, and so some of the concepts were universal but not so accessible. Thanks. We make everything accessible, and that's why we use songs that people are familiar with, language that people are familiar with, but also elections are coming up. We want people to go, who am I voting for and why? And I think the show does that. By the end of it, you're asking yourself, what role am I playing in the society to contribute to the development or the decay of the country? Who am I voting for? And what are other people doing? And how am I participating, you know, in that conversation?
So is it correct to assume that after watching this play, the audience will have a different mindset about South Africa and how they approach different issues on a daily basis, isn't it?
Absolutely. Every day when we leave, the show and the audiences are waiting for us outside, that's one of the first things they say. That just like, my goodness, yes, I was laughing, but the things that you guys were making me think about, you were forcing me to reflect. You were forcing me to reflect on my own mental health, on my relationships with my own parents. I saw my mother on that stage. Some of the things we speak about are like abuse in relationships. So the issues are topical, but also so relevant, like Tumy mentioned. And when the audience leaves, that's Kafti and you're talking about. They can't finish it in one day. They're just like them.
So we should bring loads of Tupperware.
Because we're not giving you hours, you know.
Right. Our mamas will kill you for Tupperware.
Margarine.
Ladies, I mean, I absolutely love this already. It's like I'm watching the show already.
I never smell.
So it's like a glimpse of what to expect in the show. Lovely chatting to you.
Thank you
and
for having us.
The tickets, do we get them at the door or do we pre-book?
Both at the door, and you can pre-book. The tickets are available at popartscenter.co.za.
Okay. Lovely chatting to you, ladies. All the
Thank
best.
you. Thank you so much for having us.
I've never had such a good laugh. Mekete Manyalo le Mafu is a sketch comedy show starring the Thenx Ladies. The show is currently running at the Avda Red Roof Theatre in Johannesburg, just down the road from SABC. We just spoke to the cast members on what can be expected.